Chapter 5. The Emergency. Farah presses a button to close the door to Nick's secret room behind you all. Within seconds, it's as though it was never there. So we have a motive, and we're looking for a murder site as well as a murder. Anything else I need to know? Not unless Dante and Jun have something to add. You look at your allies. Nothing from me. I had no idea Nick was planning to jettison all his money and possessions. Jun? I didn't either. If he ever discussed it with anyone, it was out of earshot from me. How could you, or how would you have felt if you had known? You mean, would we have wanted to kill him over it? It is one hell of a motive. Not for me. I already come from the kind of money some people would kill for. It wouldn't have made much of a difference to me either. The idea of losing millions is just whatever to you? The chances of me outliving a billionaire with the access to the best healthcare in the world were practically nil. I knew I'd never see that money. What about your job, then? If Nick had a fortune, or no fortune or fame, then he wouldn't have had no need for you. It would have been disappointing, but I would have been okay. It's really not that hard to find work as a bodyguard. And this is true. What about you, Farah? Which is why he gave me a heads up. We worked out an alternative. What kind of alternative? Nice try, Mr. Seong, but you all have enough leverage over me already. Do you know if Nick was planning on announcing this to us? Yes. It's part of why he invited everyone here this weekend, so he could break the news after the mystery game. But if you want details, you should ask Liz. She was helping Nick make all the arrangements. She's the only person I know of who, well, knew about his plan. I can't get over the fact you knew about all this, that you've been living a double life this whole time I've known you. I should have noticed that you were up to something. I took extra precautions for you two in particular, John. Take it as a compliment. Well, I'm glad we know the truth now. Farah has an alibi and her intel can help us catch the killer. I'm intrigued to see if your amateur detectiving can actually catch a killer. You've got the spirit, it seems. Well, we caught you. Here's hoping it's enough, but we won't find out until we ask Liz some questions. You lead your allies, Farah now included, back to the guest wing. But before you can knock on Liz's door, Crystal dashes up to you. There you are! You all need to come downstairs. There's an emergency. She leads you into the kitchen where all the other guests are waiting, including Liz. Is this another murder announcement? Because I don't know how many of those I can handle in 1 week. This isn't about Nick's death, but it's just as serious. Oh God, what now? I'm so sorry to be the one to tell everyone this, but we've eaten everything Nick's staff prepped for the party. We're out of food. What? But the roads might be blocked for days. What the hell did you Seriously? You and John exchange a confused look. The kitchen pantry is visibly stocked. You open a fridge and it's bursting with fresh ingredients. Crystal, have you looked around? There's tons of food here, enough for the next few days. Easy, maybe a week. I don't know about you, Finn, but I can't just eat raw flour. And I don't know, leaves? Really? I always thought you were big on veggies. Crystal's got a point. I haven't cooked since... I guess I haven't cooked. Oh my God. Are we all going to starve? Oh my God. Please tell me that's sarcasm. Farah gets a little higher in voice than it was in the secret room. More airy as she effortlessly slips into the persona you met her under. We aren't gonna starve. Like Finn said, we have options. As the group begins to argue, Farah leans in to whisper to you. Crystal did us a favor by getting everyone together. If you can keep them busy, we can question some of them about Nick's plans. Including Liz, good idea. And I think I know just what this group needs. Clap your hands together and raise your voice over all the chatter. Great news, everyone. Haven't heard that a million times in World of Warcraft. Flour and other ingredients can be turned into food. You don't have to be snarky about it. Obviously ingredients equal food, but only the staff know how to do that. I am staff, and I can cook. I am a private contractor, but I also know how to cook. And I'm also just a normal-ass person who makes her own pasta Alfredo. It's not hard. Thank God. If I don't have anyone to cook for me, I'll have no choice but to gnaw on a block of cheese wrapped in raw lettuce. Crystal sympathetically pats Farah's shoulder, but now that you know about the real Farah Sabri, you can tell she's playing up the act. No, really? Hang on, I'm not comfortable with anyone being in charge of making food for the group. What if Nick's killer tampers with it? Then we'll all prepare the food together. John, Liz, and I can teach you how. That makes sense to me. What are we starting with? Coq au vin? Duck à l'orange? Those might be a bit advanced for beginners, but it's lunchtime and I see plenty of bread. Yep, sandwiches it is. Liz, you handle the bread with Dante, Madani, and Angelina. John, take everyone else and start slicing fillings. And I probably shouldn't have to say this, but no one go into the freezer. It's still occupied. We remember. You fall back, keeping an eye on the group as you gather plates and a selection of gourmet mayonnaises, mustards, and hot sauces. I'll pay extra attention to Liz, Angelina, Crystal, Liz, because we need to be asking her questions anyway. Nick sometimes joked that he didn't even think he'd be able to function without Liz, and she knew he was giving up his money. I wonder how she felt about it. You consider Liz as she supervises the bread station, interjecting to correct her struggling students. I can't believe I'm being bested by a bread knife. Don't be embarrassed. It's something you have to get the hang of. Just think of it as a saw. Like in that Mob movie where you saw the guy's arm off. Right, except that to get the shot, I was sawing a cantaloupe. It was a hell of a lot softer than this bread roll. What? Who the hell eats bread that hard then? Well, then just follow along with me. We're going for even downward pressure and a steady back and forth motion. I can see why Nick appreciated having her around, but hard to tell what she might be hiding. How, Farah? Are you sure you haven't done this before? That's over to see a pile of perfectly sliced pickles in front of her. A rueful look crosses her face, and she hides behind a giggle. Oh, I guess I'm just naturally gifted. Let me try the onion next. Is a sandwich each really going to last us until dinner? I'm worried people will sneak back in here in 2 hours looking for a snack. She's right. A sandwich doesn't have nearly enough calories. I need my energy reserves up in case I need to run for my life. Or in case you want to chase someone down. Why'd you really bring us all here, Crystal? Okay, everyone, relax. I don't know if we're ready to tackle sides yet, or if any of them are going to answer questions like this. Even Crystal could cut the tension in this room with a knife. Nick's chef has a kitchen garden. I could grab a few things, make a yakizillon for all of us. They would work as sides or snacks for later. A yakizillon, what the hell is that? So you can throw nightshade or poison oak in there? No way, man. No one should be handling ingredients alone. If I went with him, the extra food would do us all good. Give me a chance to talk to John one-on-one. Diamond choice. Get ingredients with John. I'll go with him to supervise. We'll grab a few ingredients, be back to feed you all before you know it. Just be careful out there. John leads you through a nearby door into a vegetable garden. Leafy greens spill out from the planter boxes, filling the air with a rich, loamy scent. Thanks for coming with me, but I have to ask, are you here because you want to help me or because you think I'm up to something? I just wanted to spend some time with you. Is that okay? He gives you a searching look, then nods. His expression softens ever so slightly. Sure. I know the circumstances aren't the best, but I don't mind having you around. Wow, I'm going to consider that a compliment. You look at the banquet of fresh ingredients around you. So, what goes into, what are we making again? Yeshajian, vegetable pancakes. Never mind, I don't want any. I'm only try anything once, but why are you screwing with pancakes? Any vegetables in particular? You can generally use whatever's in season. It's a great recipe to clean out your fridge. He points to a bed where a yellow-flowered plant lies heavy with green fruit, and another with neat rows of stiff green shoots. But we have options, so I want to grab some zucchini, leeks, green onions. Is that the best combo? He turns away to start picking zucchini. For a moment, you think he's going to dodge the question, but when he replies, his voice is soft. It's the way my mom always used to make them, and I wouldn't say no to some comfort food right now. Well, then, let me help. You kneel in the bed Jen pointed to and pull up a thick white leek. You set it aside, you and get to work on the next. Jen, did your mom teach you to cook? It was a team effort between my mom and dad. I have 3 little sisters, so we were a big family to feed. They needed backup. So they relied on their oldest kid. Was that wise? After I learned not to cut my fingers and bleed in the broth, sure. I like that my parents treated me like an equal in the kitchen. It let me get to know them in a new way. And there's something special about preparing and eating food with the people you care with the most. His eyes meet yours, warm and surprisingly open. You think eating something we all cook together will calm the script down? Maybe. For a little while. But right now, the best thing we can hope for is to get through the next few days in a small, non-lethal increments. He nods to a tangled, overgrown bed of green leaves. Harvest a third of that spinach. It'll make some nimul to go along with the yeshajian and sandwiches. Whatever you say, chef. You catch him chuckling softly as he turns away, and before long, the two of you have a whole basket full of vegetables. Back in the kitchen, you work together by one of the stoves, chopping the vegetables as John toasts sesame seeds and prepares a batter. That already smells amazing. Wait until it's cooked. A hearty aroma fills the room as John ladles the batter into the pan, frying each side of the pancake to deft perfection. Whatever you're cooking over there, it smells like a slice of paradise. John, you're my savior. I take back every comment I ever made about your Austri fashion sense. John holds a plate up to you. Here, see if it's done all the way through. Time for a taste test. That doesn't look like any pancake I'd be eating. You pick up one slice, dipping it into the sauce he's prepared, and take a bite. The sauce is sharp and sweet, the pancake hot and delicious. You can't help letting out a soft whistle. Oh, this is incredible. John, you should cook me dinner sometime. A soft smile flickers at the corner of his mouth for a moment, and then it's gone. But he touches a thumb to your chin, a hair's breadth away from your lips, and wipes a trace of sauce away. We'd have to survive this first. Alright, everybody. Jen's made some treats so you don't tear each other apart before sandwiches are done. 1 slice per person until everyone's had some, then take as much as you want. John keeps flipping more pancakes as you distribute them, and before long, everyone is munching on the yakajin. Oh my god, John. What did you put in these? These are seriously delicious. Best food I've had in ages. Great job, man. Then John turns with a knife in his hand and goes, "You're all going to be poisoned." You watch with a smile as a flush of pride spreads over his face. He takes a pancake of his own and takes a slow bite. Not quite as good as my mom's, but I'm glad you like them. As people finish munching on the food, John gets back to work on the nimul, and the others head back to their sandwich prep stations. But with only a few exceptions, things seem a little less tense. Crystal, can you pass the mustard? Fine, but I want it back when you're done. You give John a small nudge, grinning. I think we did some good work here, and by we, I mostly mean you. He laughs softly and gives you a rare smile. If it keeps them all from leaping down each other's throats, that's a win in my book. For long, the last of the food is ready with surprisingly minimal fuss. If everything's ready, we should eat outside. The weather's nice today. Great idea. A picnic will be much easier to clean up after. I'll get the picnic baskets. Hey, no splitting up. Seriously, Pete? I can't poison a blanket. Pete splutters as Liz stalks out of the kitchen alone. Dante and Farah throw you a pointed look. It's okay. I'll go after her. Not on your own, you won't. You raise an eyebrow as Farah trails you into the hallway, falling in beside you. You want to question Liz with me? I told you earlier I want in on the little detective club. Why? Because I want to ensure that whoever killed Nick lives to regret it. And because you have so much leverage over me that I might as well make myself useful too. 2 birds, 1 stone. Your secrets are safe with me. And I'm just supposed to take you at your word. Well, unless you have any other way for me to prove myself to you. She looks at you ponderously, a smile playing about her lips. Why would you protect me? Nick's changes to the will didn't go into effect. If I'm in jail, I can't collect. Your share would grow. Maybe it's worth a couple $100 million to see you on this side of a prison cell. She laughs, her gaze appraising you like a jeweler inspecting a rare or valuable gem. You're adorable. Even if you're probably lying. But regardless, I'm helping you anyway for Nick's sake. You find Liz around a corner tugging a pile of picnic blankets and baskets from a closet. She gives you an apologetic look as you approach. Sorry, I probably should have cleared it with you before I went off alone, huh? Don't apologize. Finn isn't in charge of anything. No offense, Finn. None taken. I actually have something I wanted to ask you about. It'd be better if nobody else heard us. Was Nick planning to give away his fortune? Farah looks at you in a show of wide-eyed shock as though this is news to her. He what? How did you hear about that? I put 2 and 2 together. Thinking back over what you uncovered, you realize that the clues really were there for you to piece together on your own. Well, that and Farah wants to remain looking ignorant. When I got here, Nick said a couple things that sounded kind of like a goodbye. It's why the idea of his ending almost made sense. But when I realized he'd been murdered, I realized that he was saying goodbye. Not to us, but to all this. Farah gives you a subtle nod of approval as Liz gazes at you in awe. God, you really are a detective at heart. No wonder your books are so good. And so it's true. Are there any documents to back it up? Liz hesitates, but she's visibly less tense than when everyone first arrived in the kitchen. She pulls out her phone, bringing up a document on the screen. If it'll really help, here. This is a statement of intent he drafted. You take Liz's phone, your heart pounding as you read through your best friend's reasoning for giving up all of his material assets. Here we go. I know people will question my sanity, but the only insane thing about all this is that I ever allowed to amass this much wealth. To live in this kind of luxury while so many people in our country can't afford stable housing or shelter is unconscionable. I've tried to use my money for good, but it's not enough. I have to practice what I preach and lead by example. I'd like to thank my oldest friend, Finn Mason, for keeping me tethered to the real world and never letting me forget where we came from. You swallow hard, looking at Farah and Liz. He really did do this because of me. I hate that someone killed him for it. He was trying to do the right thing, but some heartless a-hole in this house, one of his friends, couldn't let that happen. You think this is why someone killed him? It's a pretty damn good motive. Did anyone else know he was going to give up his money? I'm not sure. I think I'm the only person he told. But if you're looking for someone who's been acting shifty around Nick, you should investigate Pete. Pete! Rick! COO! Why Pete? It's Whoosh related, so I shouldn't really say anything. but I guess it doesn't matter now. Pete's been trying to push Whoosh in a new direction. He wants them to get into home surveillance tech. Home cameras, phone trackers, etc. Stuff that sounds innocent, but would generate data the company could sell to the highest bidder. Nick would have hated that. He doesn't even have any security cams at his own house. And Pete knew it. He developed a prototype behind Nick's back and was probably hoping to pitch it to the board first. Luckily, Nick caught wind of it and shut it down. Pete seemed to take it well, but I haven't trusted him since. Shout from the patio echoes through the hallways. Are you guys going to knit those blankets up there or what? It's time to eat. I guess we'd better get back. Laura puts a hand on your wrist as Liz heads back to the kitchen. Warmth colors her voice as she whispers to you. It sounds like you're the reason Nick helped me instead of throwing me to the cops. Back when he learned the truth about me. Thank you. I can't take credit for something I didn't even know was happening. But you can take credit for keeping him kind, even when he was swimming in all of this. She gestures at the opulent mansion all around you. I won't forget it. You take a seat on the patio with John, Farah, and Dante to dig into your lunch. That looks like a good sandwich. Finally, time for a bite. Around you, some of the other guests munch their own sandwiches and help themselves to small plates of John's cooking. I love the spinach side you made, John. Thanks. I've never eaten anything I helped make before. It feels kind of satisfying. John glances at the others, ensuring nobody's close enough to overhear him, and leans into your little group. So what did you learn from Liz? You and Farah quietly brief John and Dante on what you learned, keeping an eye on Pete. He doesn't seem to notice your scrutiny. Surveillance tech? That'd be a serious redirection for Whoosh. Do you think Pete knew about Nick's plans? I think... I think Nick planned on Pete finding out at the same time as everyone else. If Pete was trying to take the company in a risky direction, this would have been Nick's final safeguard for the company. He might have even made provisions to make sure that Pete's prototype never went to market. I've never seen Pete lose his temper, but who knows? Learning Nick made a move like that might do it. That settles it. I need to talk to Pete. Slow down, detective. You might have effortlessly squeezed answers out of Liz, but Pete's a whole different creature. Why? Because he has money? Money, class, power, negotiation experience. You name it. If he has something to hide, he won't spill it, just because you asked nicely. You have to meet him on his level, make him feel like he's in a safe situation. One where he holds all the power. All that are the bragging rights. It's quintessentially the same. Like the bowling alley. The what now? Pete's a huge bowling nerd. I've seen him in the mansion's private alley before. If we put him in his element, he might let his guard down. Plus, he's known me for a long time. I could help you set him at ease. Diamond choice. Question Pete with Dante over a friendly game. Anything that'll get Pete to talk sounds like a good idea to me. I hope you brought your bowling A game, Dante. I promise to get answers out of Pete, but whatever happens with the pins is up to chance. You and Dante approach Pete as he scoops one last dollop of sauce from his plate, licking his fingers. Oh, great idea on the cooking fin. This was the best sandwich I've ever tasted. I'm all about simple pleasures. They go with my simple skills. He chuckles, wiping his face and hands on a napkin. Speaking of simple pleasures, I was about to introduce Finn to Nick's bowling alley. Oh, you bowl, Finn? I am familiar with the concept of bowling, but if I don't keep busy right now, I'm gonna go crazy, so bowling it is. What about your investigation? We questioned everyone. No one admitted to a murder, and then Crystal announced we were all on the verge of starvation. It turns out the detective work is easier when you're the one writing the crime. I'm sure you'll find something, but until then I'm happy to be a distraction, especially if it means I get to bowl. You and Dante follow Pete in a long room on the ground floor. Pins wait for you in the perfect formation at the end of the bowling lane. Hey, look there, we bowl. Nick used to tag along to the alley with me when Whoosh was just a startup. We made a lot of our early breakthroughs there. He used to joke that one day, when we became a household name, he'd build a bowling alley in his mansion just for me. Nick never joked when it came to doing nice things for his friends. Yeah, it was one of the things that made him so special. It feels like a good opening. But before you can begin your line of questioning, Pete has a black and white bowling ball from the rack and passes it to Dante. How's the dream project going, Dante? Dante starts to swing to release the ball, but when he hears Pete's question, he hesitates. The ball goes straight into the gutter. It's, going great. What's this about a dream project? Just a film I'm in. Don't undersell yourself, man. You're finally playing the lead. And it sounds exactly like the kind of fun, low-key, artsy thing that festivals love to shower with awards. How about your work? I heard Whoosh went through some internal drama recently. Smooth redirect, Dante. Or do you just want me, not want me asking about your film? His forehead creases, eyes on the pins as he lines up a shot. You'll have to be more specific. There's always internal drama at a company as big as Whoosh. It's the nature of the beast. I heard someone say something about, last night about some creative disagreements. Was it, Whoosh is running out of steam? That does have some truth to it. Pete releases the ball, sails down the lane, sending the pins scattering in a perfect strike. So Whoosh is in trouble? Not yet, but there are so many devices you can invent to clean and light people's homes. I think we should expand our range. Good to know. You're up, then. You take a green, malted ball and approach the line. You lock eyes on the bowling pins as you consider your next question. What kind of stuff did you want Whoosh to expand into? Was it security tech? Yes, actually. Thanks for the tip, Liz. You release your ball and it rockets to the end of the line, taking out all of your pins. Nice one. Security seems to be a big business right now. It's huge, which is why I've been trying to push Whoosh towards it. You're not worried about the, ethical issues? Well, of course I am, but Nick and I could have done it right. Access could be kept private instead of signing customers up for a secret Penipton surveillance. If he'd let me develop more prototypes, he would have understood what I meant. The security he could trust enough to put in his own home. You got more info out of Pete. If he'd taken the kind of secure home cams I was working on, his killer might have been stopped before they got anywhere near him. You and Donna exchange a look. It's time to push our luck and see what else he will admit to. Were you aware that Nick was planning to leave the company and give up all of his money to charity? He blinks at you, then lets out a confused laugh. Is this some kind of joke? Nick was planning to announce it once the mystery game was over. This weekend was going to be his last luxurious hurrah. He didn't tell you? No, he didn't. He didn't say anything to me. It's... God. I mean, it's a big change. It sure looks like this is the first time he's hearing this. But if he was serious, if he was sure, then I would have supported him. Even if it would shake up the company. Him stepping down as CEO? Not as much as you think. I already run the day-to-day, and I trust the board to appoint a CEO who shares Nick's ideals. Which they'll have to do now, anyway. What about Nick's will? You know he was planning to leave his fortune to us before this, right? Pete has the decency to look embarrassed. I'm a C-suite executive at this point. Money's something my accountant deals with. You know how it is, Dante. Cannot relate. He looks over a machine replacing the bowling pins in a neat formation and size. So, this was an interrogation, huh? Not just a friendly game? I'll call it both, but yeah. He chuckles softly, giving an appreciative nod. Look, can I ask who sent you my way? Was it Liz? Oh, let me guess, you got some dirt on her. What makes you think that? Because she's the only person I can think of who'd need to distract you from looking into her own business. I know Nick thought the sun shone out of her eyes, but Liz has been a pretty subpar assistant for a while now. What do you mean? He's always raving about how indispensable she is. She's been letting a lot slip out of work, forgetting stuff for Nick, arriving late, taking time for appointments even though she's never sick. It's like she's emotionally moved on from the job. If she were an assistant, my assistant, I would have sat down for a talk weeks ago. Liz Flores, the assistant. This is news to us. Thanks for the insight. No problem. If you've got everything you need from me, I've got some work to catch up on. Just think about what I said. There might be other people worth taking a closer look at besides yours truly. Watch him leave, listening until his footsteps recede into the hall outside. What do you think? Dante retrieves his bowling ball and holds it up with a grin. I think we have a game to finish before we get back to mystery solving. Whoever takes the best shot wins. Conveniently ignoring your gutter ball from earlier, are we? That didn't count. We were making small talk with a suspect. No, it counts. You laugh at Dante as he takes 2 steps and releases his ball. It takes out all but one of his pins. Beat that, detective. You fetch your own ball as the pins reset, lining up your shot. Go for a strike. You center yourself, aim, and let loose. The ball knocks all the pins down with a clatter. Yes, eat that. Nice shot. It makes being thrashed a little bit more bearable. You smile at him as the mechanism whirs in the lane, resetting the pins. Thanks for helping me with Pete. You're a lot more than a pretty face. Yeah, but don't forget his dream film. Dante laughs softly and shrugs. You're the brains of this operation. I'm good with being the face. You're doing it again, you know. The thing where you get weird every time I call you cute. What thing? You grimace like Kermit the Frog. Give me the kind of canned reply I'd expect from a PR interview. He laughs, his smile finally relaxing, something more authentic. Ouch. That's the first time in my entire life that anyone's compared me to a Muppet. Seriously, what's up? Am I making you uncomfortable? Should I stop? No, it's just, sighs and rakes a hand through his hair. A lot of people flirt with me. It's part of being semi-famous guy with really famous dad, but most of the time they don't mean anything by it. It makes it hard to tell if someone's interested in me or if they're just interested in telling their friends they had chemistry with Dante Valdez. I never thought about it like that. He gives you a rueful grin, his expression softening. But for the record, I kinda like it when you flirt with me. It just might take a little getting used to. Well, thanks for telling me. I'll try to flirt with you more often then. He runs his hand through his hair again and grins, the expression a little more open this time, a little brighter. I think I could handle that. Good to know. I flirted with Dante Valdez and played bowling. I mean, what? You return to your public blanket and find Farah stretched out in the warm sunlight as Jun's gaze scans the patio. Well, how'd it go? Pete claims he didn't know about Nick's decision, admitted that he pushed for surveillance tech, and guessed that Liz sent us his way. He thinks Liz is hiding something. He says she was mostly checked out of her job as Nick's assistant a while ago. All important new details I wouldn't have been able to get without Dante's help. Glad you know Pete better than I do. Dante winces a little at your praise. I don't love using that kind of info to get what you want from people. I get enough of that quid pro quo in Hollywood. But it gets us a lead. Liz has been off her game. She's been going to lots of appointments, so I assumed it was something personal. Farah looks across the patio. Some of the other guests have gone, but Liz, Madani, and Crystal are settled on a blanket deep in conversation. Well, if we want the scoop on Liz's secret, now would be the perfect time to search her room. The room is locked with a keycard, unless you want me to start kicking doors down and we can't get in there. Have some faith, John. Breaking and entering is my whole thing. After all, I got in a fenced room without a keycard the other day. You never did tell me why you did that. Do a little light B&E with me and you, and I might just tell you. Diamond choice. Search Liz's room. You gather your empty plates and stand up, nodding for Farah to come with you. We better move fast. Dante and you and Jun stay here, keep Liz from coming upstairs. Roger that. A few pairs of eyes follow you as you and Farah make for the house with your plates, but one by one they lose interest. She takes the plates away from you as you veer towards the kitchen. Okay, Keeper, the fine china, the ruse worked. We don't have time to actually stack the dishes. You don't think it'll look suspicious if we just leave them in the hallway? She kicks open a closet and stashes the plates inside. Ta-da! Let's go. You chuckle and follow her up the stairs leading to the guest wing. So, let's hear it. Why were you in my room yesterday? Honest mix-up. I thought it was Crystal's room. And why were you looking for Crystal's room? Because she notoriously travels with a gorgeous little statue of Agalia that she has no right to own. I'm sending it home. So you took the statue she was complaining about? She tried to get me to track it down, you know. Case closed, congratulations. Are you going to try to take it off me? I didn't say I agreed to help her. Good. I don't want to see who would win in a fight between the two of us. I'm an author and you're a badass art thief. I think the answer's obvious. Art thief, yes, badass debatable. I don't exactly know, tab-tib or karate. I can land a punch, that's it. And you've still got one up on me then. When you reach Liz's door, Farah kneels beside it and produces something that looks almost like a credit card. Keep an eye out, will you? This should only take a minute. You know, it's scanning up the hall and down the hallway for passerbyers as she starts fiddling with the door handle and the lock. How did you end up in this line of work? You know, the whole steal from the rich, return to the rightful owners. By accident. I didn't grow up with money. The opposite, actually. My parents died when I was a kid, and they had nothing to leave me but memories. I'm so sorry. Gives you a brief, soft smile as she fiddles with the lock, and then her brow furrows with concentration again. Thank you. My grandfather took me in after that. He was an artist, so he had a lot of love to give, but not much in the way of money or luxury. And what did he paint? Portraits of modern Cairo. They were beautiful. He sold them here and there, but he never made a name for himself. And he had debts. Loan sharks took everything when I was 17. His studio, his paintings, it broke his heart, and it broke mine to see him like that. Something tells me you didn't let the story end there. Who exactly took the paintings? A businessman in the Zamalek district. It took a few years to find them, another couple of months to figure out how to get them. Eventually I heard he was throwing a huge party, so I borrowed a nice dress from a friend and just walked in. Nobody stopped you? I was beautiful, entertaining, pretending to be as entitled as they were. That's all they needed. It's all they've ever needed. After a couple more months of casing the house, I stole the art back from my grandfather, and, well, the rest is history. I think you might be the coolest person I've ever met. She laughs softly. I'd be flattered, but most of the people you know are fictional psychopaths. Ouch. But fair. Oh my god, Finn, I was kidding. Stop being so quick to put yourself down. Sorry, but I can't deny a sick burn. Cute and honest, you're growing on me, Miss Arthur. She runs the card between the door nut jam and the handle one more time, jiggling it slightly, and Liz's door pops open with a click. She looks up at you with a satisfied smile. After you. You step into the room that's similar to size in your own, but a little more lived in. Come on, Finn, think. Where would you have a character hide incriminating evidence? I'll check the desk if you look under the mattress. Hoping for a diary. Is that too much to ask? She laughs and hoists Liz's mattress up as you check the desk for secret drawers, hidden compartments, or false bottoms. Oh, this is so disappointingly normal. No documents. Just some standard paperwork, invoices, schedules, nothing weird. She smooths the bed, retucking the sheets, and moves to the nightstand drawer. It doesn't budge. Locked. Now we're on to something. I'm not going to insult you by asking if you can pick physical locks as well as digital ones. Thank you for that. They're much easier. She pulls a pair of metal picks from the low neck of her top. Wow. Aren't those uncomfortable to keep down there? Why do you think most of my lingerie has boning? Okay. You sit with that information. As Farah makes quick work of the lock, she slides the drawer open and takes out a folder holding a piece of paper. All that for one piece of paper? An important piece of paper. It's a job offer from one of Woosh's rivals. That explains all those appointments she's been going to. They must have been interviews. You look over her shoulder at the letter. Liz's offer that she kept secret. For a desk job. Whoa, this is a serious promotion. No wonder Liz has been checked out at work. She was just seeing the end of her contract. She had a better job lined up. Full knowledge of Nick's plans, access to a schedule. She knows the layout of the house better than anyone here besides John. And Crystal supposedly saw her upstairs around the time Nick died. That would make her a serious suspect. Wait, stop. She killed Nick because she was gonna go to a new job? Hey? That's really stupid, I'm just saying. If she did, but I doubt it. There gotta be more to this story. You snap a picture of the letter on your phone and return to Farah, who smiles as she carefully replaces it and locks the drawer. I'd say this was a worthwhile detour, wouldn't you? Even if it's not pleasant to find evidence against someone you thought was good people. It was definitely worth a little B&E. Thanks. We make one hell of a team. We do, don't we? You're even more fun than I originally gave you credit for. She gives you an appreciative look, her eyes flicking up and down to take you in. As long as we're stuck here, if you ever want to blow off some steam, you're welcome to knock on my door. I might be available for that. She winks at you as she turns for the door. Just don't expect me to do any feelings. The situation is already way too complicated for that. Too complicated? Maybe I like complicated. She studies you for a moment, then laughs again as she tucks her lockpicks away. Then it's a shame we didn't meet under less murderous circumstances. You're all kinds of trouble. You find John and Dante waiting for you at the end of the hallway as you emerge. Anything juicy? I'll say, this is an offer letter for... The words are cut off as a shrill alarm blares through the air. What the hell is that? That's what happens when you screw up a break-in. Could it be the killer? It's coming from this way, come on. You race after John as he charges towards Nick's office. John flings open the door and then stops, his mouth twisting in anger. You. Steve stands by Nick's desk, a roll of blueprints in his hands, trapped in place by a field of lasers. Listen, it's not what it looks like. Right. Sure it doesn't there, buddy. And without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And down in the description, plenty of things to check out there, ways to support, and hey, there's our Discord server if you'd like to join as well. Aside from that, I don't really know what to say or what to think. I just I mean, let's think about it, right? So Liz is handling everything, right? This is critical thinking and logic. Liz is handling everything. She knows about, what he was going to do. He was going to give away his money, his fortune, everything, right? And she was also probably going to no longer be his assistant, right? He was going to go back to humble means and beginnings. And so clearly she was going to be out of a job. I mean, what does Farah and our MC expect her to do? Be unemployed? Be like, oh, well, if he gave up everything, then I should just give up working and live on the streets. Like, come on, guys. Like, anybody who thinks Liz for a second, based off of that reasoning, is literally and figuratively Nick's killer, is. Listen, I got a boat with a hole to sell you. It'll float, I swear. So, if there's some other reasoning, I'd be willing to accept it, right? And then with her, having the news that he was giving everything up and that she was going to, be forced out of a job that she loved, right? Like, none of us, if we find a job, right, none of us want to leave that job or lose that job, right? Especially if we love it. We want to cherish it and enjoy it for as long as we can work, right? I mean, some people, they work in a job that they know and love and they have enough money and means to retire, but some of them keep working that job because they just love it. There are people out there that literally and figuratively can do that. Not all of us, but can. So this is a person who, might have liked, our John, the people he hung out with, the whole job, the whole 9 yards. And so, people feel attached to that. It feels like a second home away from home, or even mainly a home for some of them, and things like that. So I don't think that's a reason for literally killing Nick. I don't see it. Um, if there were some other reasons, which I won't lie, in my head I was thinking, okay, maybe her and Nick had a thing. Maybe she ended up being pregnant. Maybe there was something else going on. Who knows? I was actually thinking some interesting shit. I wasn't thinking that, hey, she just literally and figuratively found a new job. It's kind of stupid, isn't it, when you say it out loud? So that's what I'm thinking. As for Steve with blueprints, interesting. Again, I always value you guys' input, so leave some comments down below telling me what you think, and then did you learn anything else? As for Pete, who knows? He still has some motive. Not much, but some. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all later. Peace out.